I'm a researcher, a PhD researcher, and I have a specific focus on international law, particularly international criminal law. And I'm also very interested in Islamist sermons told by scholars through messages and stories, and the style of those particular sermons in terms of the linguistic style, and what is it about those sermons that are making young people, in fact all people, tip over the edge and become violent extremists. I don't specifically think people hate other people. I think they hate the institutions they perhaps stand for and the organisations they perhaps represent. For example, if we look at the British policy on the Middle East, many young people are now aware that the policy in the Middle East has and is failing in terms of how it's tackling extremism and terrorism. So I think people start to begin to hate those particular organisations those individuals represent, rather than hating individuals per se. There's extensive evidence that social exclusion does play a part. Being excluded from the norms of society can also play a part. However, there are bigger things at play. I wouldn't say religion itself has a role to play, but I do think the interpretation of religion, an interpretation of an ideology on a person does have an impact, and that can lead a person to become an extremist. But that doesn't mean you can't have extreme views. It's when your extreme views take you into the criminal space, that's when it becomes problematic. The target are generally the population at large, but in particular communities, for example, if we look at Muslim communities, they will normally target those people who are more inclined to heed to the message of a particular individual who has extremist views against the West, for example, or extremist views against a particular section of the community, be that a minority community. And it's the target then would be those individuals who are vulnerable in those societies. And sometimes it can be people with mental ill health who are vulnerable and heed to that message, or those individuals who are excluded from general topics or general conversations within society, and they look to those individuals as a potential recruitment community. I don't think the two are linked personally. I think multiculturalism is unique in the West, in the fact that we are very tolerant here in Britain. We live in a very tolerant and very divisive, non-divisive society. We celebrate each other's cultures, religions, faiths, ideologies. However, there are those individuals who want to sow discord amongst us, and just because we have multiculturalism doesn't mean we're not going to have those individuals within that who are going to try and sow discord and try and create a disunited community as opposed to a united front. There's a variety of factors, but one of the areas that I'm looking at is what does a particular scholar from a particular branch of Islam, for example, say to a young person that makes that person tip over the edge. They may have a very appealing message, and if we look at some of the material that comes out of ISIS and their recruitment message, their material is very slick and driven very, very well, and it's all fake and it's all propaganda, and that is something that unfortunately some young people are falling victim to. Stand together. Do not let individuals, because there are very few of them, despite what you see in the media, despite what you might see in the global media, extremists, be they animal rights extremists, be they far right extremists, be they Islamist extremists, they are very, very few. And if we stand together, united as communities, irrespective of our faith, we will defeat them. I guess this is a message for everybody, all people from all faiths and all backgrounds, our European partners in tackling this, European family across the pond, and family across the world, that if you feel that you are being told or given a message that is going against civilized society, be that a message of extremism from an Islamist, a message of extremism from a far-right extremist, or a message of extremism from an animal rights extremist, then talk to somebody. Don't suffer in silence. Do not let it fester. Talk to your friends, talk to your colleagues, talk to your family, and get some advice.